Good afternoon, Your Excellency, the Governor of Bermuda, Mr. John Rankin, the Acting Deputy Premier, Ms. Patricia Gordon-Pamplin, Minister of Home Affairs, MPJP, the Honorable Jean Atherton, MPJP, Minister of Health and Seniors, Shadow Minister of Health, the Honorable Kim Wilson, MPJP, Junior Minister of Health, Mrs. Lynn Rodrich, JP, Linda Rozelik, Management Officer on behalf of the Honorary Council of the USA, and all our distinguished guests who are here with us today. As President of the Board of Directors of Bermuda Cancer and Health, I am pleased to welcome you all here for the official opening of our radiation therapy unit. Our dream has become a reality. No longer will approximately 200 people every year have to travel overseas for their radiation treatment. Cancer patients can now be treated in Bermuda, allowing them to receive important emotional support during their treatment and continue with much of their normal lives at home rather than being overseas for 4 to 9 weeks. Locally, we have partnered with Bermuda Hospital Board and assisted them with the upgrade of their CT scanner so that CT simulations can be performed at the hospital in order to avoid any duplication of equipment. Our overseas partners, Dana-Farber Brigham and Women's Cancer Center, is one of the finest centers in the world, ranked number 4 in the United States by U.S. News and World Report. Dana-Farber Brigham and Women's Cancer Center, in conjunction with our own Dr. Chris Fosker, Medical Director and Clinical Oncologist, will ensure all residents of Bermuda will receive top quality care in their own environment. Local health insurers are committed to supporting our services as they recognize that cost savings will be incurred. We extend our sincere thanks to the Minister of Health and Seniors, the Honorable Ms. Jean Atherton, for her support since the beginning of this project in 2014 with our conceptual plans of how radiation therapy could be brought to our island. As a charity, we are committed to ensure all people will receive radiation therapy treatment regardless of whether or not they have any or adequate insurance. We estimate that about 18% of the population are either underinsured or uninsured. No longer will they have to go without the most appropriate form of medical treatment for their cancer. No one will be turned away because they cannot afford to pay for it. Thank you. The radiation therapy project has cost $10 million. We are pleased to state that with our most recent Relay for Life fundraising event that was held this past weekend, and with the generous support from the community and corporate entities, we have raised approximately $7 million. And we do have a bank loan in place with Bermuda Commercial Bank for the shortfall. Our heartfelt thanks for all of the donors and the general public who have made this possible. The board's commitment of a radiation therapy unit in Bermuda was supported fully by the management and staff of Bermuda Cancer and Health. We could not have accomplished this without their dedication. Additionally, I would like to extend a big thank you to Mr. Gary Carr, Vice President of the Board, who has chaired the Radiation Steering Committee for us, and also to Mrs. Jennifer Haworth, Board Member and Chair of our Governance Committee, who has contributed numerous hours reviewing what I call boring legal documents between all parties on behalf of our center. Our management and staff have had to work under very trying conditions, especially during the past 9 months. In particular, I would be remiss if I do not single out the dedication and total commitment of our Executive Director, Tara Curtis. Tara joined Bermuda Cancer and Health in 2008 and brought with her an abundance of energy and enthusiasm. Tara trained in radiation physics at McMaster University and began her career working as a physicist in Pickering, one of Canada's largest nuclear generating stations. Hence, building a radiation therapy unit at Bermuda Cancer and Health was such a natural fit for Tara's skill set. Tara had the vision to bring the idea of providing radiation therapy to the board. The board approved the project, and Tara and her team ran with it. Needless to say, Tara and her team have done an awesome job. Our radiation therapy unit has been completed on schedule and on budget. Absolutely remarkable accomplishments. So on this note, I would like to introduce Executive Director Tara Curtis.
Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I believe I must have the best job I could ever imagine. Every day I get to walk through these doors and join a dedicated and committed team of professionals who are all making a significant difference for our community. In addition, I have had the pleasure of working with a devoted volunteer board of directors for the past 9 years. Our directors fully embrace and dedicate themselves towards a shared vision for Bermuda Cancer and Health Center and the community that we serve. Thank you to Judy, Gary, Linda, Jennifer, Glenn, Monica, Wendy, David, Denton, and Larry. We really, truly appreciate all of the hours and time that you have dedicated to this center. There are so many other people that need to be appreciated and commended for their part in making this facility a reality. And I am very excited to unveil what we have done under the parking lot in a few short minutes. Tremendous support and guidance during feasibility analysis was provided by Leslie Shane, Partners Healthcare International, and Gerard Walsh, Executive Director at the Brigham and Women's Hospital. Gerard, I think we crunched the numbers 100 different ways and kept coming up with the same result, that we could and should make this facility happen. Thank you, Gerard. Over 2 years ago, we had our first official meeting with the Dana-Farber Brigham and Women's team to explore the viability of making this facility happen. Bermuda Cancer and Health Center and the Dana-Farber Brigham and Women's Cancer Center are both not-for-profit organizations. Our mutual partnering for this initiative was and is about providing the best possible world-class care for patients. Thank you to Mark, Steve, Tanya, and Rose, who were at the first meeting that we held over 2 years ago. You have helped to carry this project forward from the very beginning. The unwavering support from our local health insurance providers, the Chief Medical Officer, the Bermuda Health Council, the Bermuda Hospitals Board, the Government of Bermuda. The Bermuda government provided a remission order that allowed for duty exemption for this facility, which has resulted in significant cost savings. It was clear that the support of the Bermuda government was with us from the very beginning. And indeed, every stakeholder that we spoke to saw the benefits to our community in making radiation therapy available in Bermuda. Our project management team, who helped to plan, design, and construct this facility to deliver a project of this magnitude on time in less than 9 months from when we first broke ground, and as Judy said, on budget. My thanks to all of our project team members, in particular our general contractors D&J, Johnny, Andy, Danny, and Dennis. What a pleasure it has been to have worked with D&J for this project, and you have shared our vision for delivering this nationally important initiative. I now know, until you live an experience like building something like this, it would be quite incomprehensible to appreciate the extent of work and dedication every committed team member and subcontractor has made towards our success. What a facility you have collectively built. To our neighbors, your patience and kindness has been incredible. To have so much drilling and concrete and dust and noise and traffic in your front yard. Thank you for your support in helping us to make this possible. To the Bermuda Commercial Bank for providing a loan so that Bermuda Cancer and Health Center could continue construction and open the doors to this facility as soon as possible. To the Bermuda Cancer and Health Center team, we have an amazing team here at the center, and I think every day that I don't say to them enough how much we truly appreciate them. To Danae, Sita, Kiara, Robin, Azuri, Christine, Maureen, Elizabeth, Leanne, Rona, Eric, Thomas, Bojan, Tammy, Trish, Ann, Deb, and Sarah. You have worked through many, many months of construction and disruption. Thank you for your continued patience and dedication, and for providing cancer screening and diagnosis for 11,000 patients while we constructed this facility. To our new radiation oncology team, Dave, Ellen, Tina, Amanda, Jean, and our medical director, Chris, thank you for all joining our team and being part of this wonderful new facility. I believe that Dr. Chris Fosker, and I have a shared appreciation of how the universe aligned the day that Chris came through the doors of Bermuda Cancer and Health Center. At that time, our center was well underway in moving from the analysis to the actual planning for the radiation therapy unit. So to have a spouse of a Bermudian, radiation oncologist, land on our laps with a shared vision to make radiation therapy achievable for Bermuda was a pretty big sign that the universe was indeed helping us to line up the necessary pieces. So I have a few special and personal thank yous. We had a core team on site for the 9 months of the construction who went above and beyond every day to keep this project on time and on budget. From BESCO, Todd and Malcolm, from D&J, Dylan, Craig, O'Neill, Jeff, Fluff, Mike, and Steph. I know you put in countless hours and weekends to keep this project on time. From the Brigham and Women's Hospital, Rose, so much coordination and herding of cats. Thank you to the amazing team from the Brigham and Women's who kept this project on track. Lindbergh and Simmons, to Gary and the team for understanding the vision of what we wanted to accomplish. Tina, you are simply incredible. You were so patient and accommodating with us. Although I did lose a few bulkheads along the way, it all looks great. Thank you, Tina. To Steve Demerling from D&J. Steve, I think it took me 7 months to properly pronounce your name. We have been very fortunate to have you as a project manager. Thank you, Steve, for your dedication to this project. To Bill Andreas, just call me Chiller, real estate and project manager under the Brigham and Women's Hospital. Where is Bill? Bill, could you please come forward? So Bill was on site with us for the majority of the construction. He was our project manager from the Brigham and Women's side of things. His skill, his expertise, his gentle manner, Bill really did help us to build this facility. And so in honor of Bill, we have actually named a room called the Andreas Chiller Room. One of the biggest challenges that Bill had during the construction was, number one, finding where the chiller was and actually getting the chiller installed. It's a major piece of equipment that helps with the cooling of the accelerator. So I'm very honored to provide this to Bill, and we will look upon this sign and door every day with our immense gratitude. Thank you, Bill. We now leave the construction phase of Bermuda's first radiation treatment facility, and the work now transitions to our clinical team and our clinical affiliate partners at the King Edward Memorial VII Hospital and the Dana-Farber Brigham and Women's Cancer Center. The team has already begun the planning for our first patient treatments. Through these partnerships, our community will be in world-class specialist hands and will be receiving the best possible care right here at home. It is now my pleasure to introduce you to Daphne Has-Kogan, MD. Dr. Has-Kogan is chair of the Department of Radiation Oncology at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, Brigham and Women's Hospital, and Boston Children's Hospital. She is a professor of radiation oncology at Harvard Medical School and an institute physician at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. Please welcome Dr. Has-Kogan.
Thank you, Tara. Thank you. It's such a privilege and an honor to be here. Thank you to the warm, welcoming team. Thank you, of course, to the Bermuda dignitaries, and the greatest thank you, of course, to the fantastic Boston team that we have here with us as well. So I arrived at Harvard at the Dana-Farber Brigham and Women's Cancer Center about a year and a half ago, and I knew then that I was joining an unmatched institution that delivered superb clinical care and visionary cancer research. In Boston, we create a professional and compassionate environment, recognizing that each cancer, and of course each patient, is unique. We put our patients and their families at the center of everything we do. As luck would have it, the very first patient I ever treated in Boston was from Bermuda. Very lovely lady who came with her son. Indeed, we treated her successfully, and since then I've seen her several times in follow-up. We've celebrated the cutting-edge treatment that she received and her remarkable recovery. But in talking with this lovely patient and her children and her grandson who've come to Boston to see us in follow-up, and in celebrating how wonderfully she feels now, we've also reflected on the fact that it was difficult for her. It was difficult for her to travel, to be away from her family. It was difficult for her grandson to be away from school. It was difficult for her children to accompany her and miss days of work. And that is exactly why we are here. We are here to help cancer patients in Bermuda receive superb treatment for their cancer here on the island, among their family and friends, among all of you, where they can sleep in their own beds, embrace and be embraced by their families, friends, and this wonderful community. We've built this partnership so that most patients who require radiation therapy will no longer need to travel off of the island to receive high-quality care. As mentioned already, we are the only cancer center in the U.S. ranked in the top 4 for both adult and pediatric cancer programs, according to the U.S. News and World Report. Experts from the Dana-Farber Brigham and Women's Cancer Center have advised extensively on the development of the program, including design of the facility, the creation of clinical radiation oncology policies, procedures, and safety protocols, and the development of a training and educational program. Our radiation therapy researchers and clinicians are at the cutting edge of targeted therapies, leading international clinical trials to discover newer and more effective therapies, and pioneering the latest technological innovations. We're committed to providing the most up-to-date, personalized radiation treatment to generate the best outcomes possible for our patients. We're thrilled to now be able to collaborate with Bermuda Cancer and Health Center by providing remote support by leveraging advanced collaborative technologies. We are privileged and honored to celebrate the opening of the first radiation treatment facility on Bermuda with the Bermuda Cancer and Health Center. Truly, truly a deep honor and privilege. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, I would like to introduce Stephen J. Thompson, MBA. He is a Senior Vice President and Chief Business Development Officer at Brigham's Health. Mr. Thompson has over 25 years of experience in various positions as an executive leader in academic healthcare systems. As the Chief Business Development Officer at Brigham Health, Mr. Thompson is responsible for regional, national, and international external clinical business relationships, including strategy and marketing activities. Please welcome Mr. Steve Thompson.
Thank you. Good afternoon, honored guests. It's a pleasure to be here, and on behalf of the more than 20,000 people who make up the Dana-Farber Brigham and Women's Cancer Center in Boston, we want to welcome Bermuda Cancer and Health Center to our family. It's a real honor to have worked with Bermuda Cancer and Health Center for these years, and we're looking forward to many more. The Brigham has been around for far more than 100 years. Its mission has always been to improve the health of populations and communities around the world. And while it's true that many of the very unique and specialized services that are available in Boston, we welcome people from around the world, but we also recognize, as Daphne mentioned, that in many cases it's better for patients and better for outcome if patients can be treated near their family and home. And so with that, we're again honored to welcome Bermuda Cancer and Health Center as a partner and look forward to a long relationship helping improve the quality of care and life here in Bermuda. Thank you.
So next, the young man who will be overseeing our new radiation therapy facility. Dr. Chris Fosker is an award-winning consultant oncologist and a consultant oncologist with Bermuda Hospitals Board and medical director and radiation oncologist at Bermuda Cancer and Health Center. He is an affiliate of the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute and consultant at Brigham and Women's Hospital. Dr. Fosker is a highly trained physician and is able to treat cancer patients with radiation therapy, chemotherapy, molecular therapy, and immunotherapy, and is the leader of the clinical team for Bermuda's first radiation therapy facility. Dr. Fosker.
Thank you, Tara, and good afternoon all. So, cancer is horrible. There's no surprise when you reflect on the relentless and indiscriminate path that cancer takes through our communities, the damage it does to our friends, to our families, to our society, that the word alone is very emotive. It brings around fear and anger. Being told that you or your loved one has cancer is one of the hardest moments in life. It brings about that fear of the unknown, the fear of what happens next, the anger of why me, why now. One of the few occasions that I can think is more challenging, that I've been involved in, that I've seen happen, is when you tell someone they have cancer, you tell someone that there's a very effective treatment for their cancer, but then you have to tell them that that treatment is not available here in Bermuda. For some, that means that you spend some of your most challenging time away from your support network, away from your friends and your family, receiving some of the most challenging treatments overseas. You're away from your home comforts, you're away from your loved ones. For some people in Bermuda, that means that you receive no treatment for your cancer. That changes today. With the collaborative agreement that's been worked between Bermuda Cancer and Health and the Bermuda Hospital Board, and between Bermuda Cancer and Health and the Dana-Farber and Brigham and Women's Cancer Center, we now have a facility ready to open that can offer leading world-class radiotherapy here in Bermuda, where patients can experience it at home. So that now means that if you're diagnosed with cancer, if you have full insurance and you're offered radiation as a recommended treatment for you, you can now have it here, near your home, having world-class cancer treatment, surrounded by your friends and your family at no extra cost to you. Or perhaps you're diagnosed with cancer, you're recommended to have radiation treatment, you don't feel well, the burden of the cancer is hard. You now have the chance to have world-class, world-leading radiation therapy here in Bermuda, surrounded by your friends and your family at no extra cost to you. Or perhaps you're diagnosed with cancer, radiation therapy is recommended for you. Your insurance doesn't cover overseas care, it doesn't cover overseas radiation. You can now have radiation treatment, world-leading radiation treatment here in Bermuda, surrounded by your friends and family with no extra cost to you. With the facility as it's been designed, we can now offer equal access to all when it comes to radiation therapy. Now that puts me in a very, very privileged position. I now get to sit with my patients and talk about radiation and talk about how that treatment is done here. I now get to sit with my patients and reassure them that with a collaborative agreement with the Dana-Farber and the Brigham and Women's Cancer Center, the radiation treatment they can receive here is world leading, it's cutting edge. Every single step of the way, the treatment is overseen. It has a double checking point with a wonderful team over at Brigham and Women's that have helped us on every step of the way, and they're going to help us on every step forwards. Now, this wouldn't have been possible without everyone coming together and working for the goal of what's best for patients here in Bermuda. So I have lots of people to thank, and the project has been led by Bermuda Cancer and Health, and with Tara and her wonderful team, by the volunteer board of directors, and it's been about what's right for cancer patients of Bermuda, getting people to work together and to collaborate. So having collaborative agreements with the Bermuda Hospital Board, collaborative agreements with the Dana-Farber and Brigham Women's Cancer Centre, working closely with PALS, working closely with the community of physicians, working closely with the government, with the Minister for Health, and most importantly, working really closely with the community and all. And so all of you, I have to say thank you. What's happening today is a really, really positive change, a really wonderful step forward for every patient in Bermuda and every one of their families. So thank you. And I'll now hand over. I'll now hand over to the Honourable Jean Atherton, JP, MP and Minister for Health and Seniors. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is a great day for Bermuda. Because from today, travel time for life-altering radiation therapy can be measured in minutes on a familiar road rather than hours in airports and airplanes. And as Tara said, we've been talking about this, and you know what it's like. You just, every time you see something, it's a good idea, you want it to happen tomorrow. But like everything else, it takes a bit of time, it takes collaboration, but we're here today. Travel can be difficult at best of times, but even more when you're ill or weakened, it's important that you don't have to travel. And therefore, I congratulate the Bermuda Cancer and Health Center team on this new radiation facility. It's a tremendous achievement. May I also take a moment to thank the many people, ranging from those large corporate donations to those with small piggy banks, who have given funds towards this very worthy new facility. Cancer is a real problem in all developed countries, and Bermuda is no different. Cancer mortality in Bermuda is generally comparable to the OECD averages. However, there are some areas where we do better, like breast cancer, but some areas where we do less, like prostate cancer. There are many factors contributing to this, but the important thing to remember is that prevention, early intervention, and treatment are all essential in reducing Bermuda's cancer mortality. And I just want to give you just a few statistics. In 2015, our latest figures available, cancer accounted for 128 deaths, or 26% of all deaths in Bermuda. That's 28%, 61 deaths for females, and 25%, 67 deaths for males. Of all cancer deaths, the leading causes were lung cancer, 20%, colorectal cancers, 13%, and pancreatic cancer, 8%. Among males, the leading causes were lung cancers, 27%, prostate cancers, 15%, colorectal cancers, and liver cancers. Among females, colorectal cancers, lung cancers, pancreatic cancers, breast cancers, and cervical cancers. I just want to say that because sometimes we don't think about we think about certain types of cancer, but don't realize that there is a range. Behind those numbers, the Ministry of Health and Seniors is acutely aware of the toll this disease takes on families and our society. Those statistics are really about individuals who are or would be missed by family and friends. And what about the new cases? In 2015, there were 344 new cancer diagnoses, 149 among females and 195 among males. The most common primary cancer sites for new diagnosis included skin, prostate, breast, colorectal, and lung. And I must say to you that when I got this information given to me, I thought skin cancer, 24%. We keep forgetting we have our lovely sun, we have all of this, encouraging everybody to be out there, but we don't also sometimes recognize that skin cancer is leading, it's charging up there in terms of the causes of cancer. So I'm all about making sure that every time we talk about something, somebody learns something new, and hopefully somebody turns around and makes a decision to change. For females, the most common primary cancer sites for new diagnosis include breast, skin, and colorectal. For males, its primary sites are prostate, skin, and colorectal. But the good news is that modern modalities have improved the chances of survival. And Bermuda Cancer and Health now has a resident radiation oncologist, Dr. Chris Fosker. And you notice it was so nice to be aware that he is the spouse of a Bermudian, so we have this connection here. I always like connections because sometimes when you get good physicians, they're here for a while, and when you just get used to having them, they leave. So thank you, Chris, for being here. Patients can now remain on the island and receive the same standard of treatment as considerably less expense and disruption. And I think it's important for us to talk about the disruption. I know everyone knows of someone or is aware of someone that has had to go abroad, and as has been indicated earlier, we always try to make sure that a family member goes because we're always geared up to give support. But giving support takes a toll not only on the individual, but the family and everybody left behind. So I was so pleased when Tara came up with the idea of being able to do it on the island, because anything that can alleviate the pain, as radiation does, which is important for comfort, I'm interested. And I know we're all interested. And I understand that radiation services will be offered free of charge for those who are unable to pay. And this is something that the Bermuda Cancer and Health has been doing for a while, so it's important that that continues. But when it comes to costs, as Health and Seniors Minister, I need to think of the overall cost to the healthcare system as well. It must be said that having radiation treatment available here in Bermuda is expected to reduce expenses for all concerned, and importantly, for patients. This drop in overall cost to treat patients overseas will hopefully have the effect of decreasing insurance premiums, something I'm always trying to make happen. Also, I want to thank the dedicated Bermuda Cancer and Health team who endured the joys of construction, and I say joys. I must admit, I've come over here a couple times when I've just come to have my mammograms, and I think it's like something else. You put up with something when you know it's for a good cause and you know the result is going to benefit everybody. So we're here and it's now. So I want to thank them for the Bermuda Cancer and Health team who have endured the joys of construction, and I'm sure are happy to be back in the dust and noise-free environment. In closing, it is my hope, and it must be one we all share, that in the years to come, we will reduce cancer deaths and incidences. It is always the ministry's goal that we have more and more healthy people in our healthy communities. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister. We absolutely appreciate the continued support that we have had from you, from the Bermuda government, from everyone in the community. So before we officially cut the ribbon, I do want to acknowledge, as Judy said, we just had our 4th annual Relay for Life event at Northfield last weekend. We almost got blown away by some pretty gusty winds. It was a bit harrowing there for a while on Friday morning, but with the amazing volunteers, the amazing committee, we had 60 people from Bacardi come out and help us for the day. We were able to get the event so that it was up and running on time. We had an amazing 24 hours. I want to personally thank our presenting sponsor who have been with us for 4 years. I see that Mitch Blazer is here from Iron Shore. Mitch, thank you so much. You are really helping us to raise millions of dollars. And then also 2 very special people who are in the audience who were with me from the very beginning, even before I was involved in Relay. The founder, Ron Spencer III, who brought the concept to us, and Katrina Van Pelt, who was so instrumental as we were looking to set up First Relay for Life. Katrina, you really set the standard for an amazing event, and I'm so pleased that you are here. Thank you.